Day one of Arca Daytona testing is in the books. Hendrick Motorsports signs another driver. We know who's calling Xfinity races next year, and a bunch of different driver announcements. Welcome back to the Breaking Bob channel. 2025 is officially in full swing. There is no such thing as the off season anymore. We're ramping up for the motorsports season less than a month before the Clash. I find that hard to believe. It just snuck up here, but it'll be here before we know it. So if you're new here, you haven't come across this channel before, hit that subscribe button. We're always talking NASCAR and racing on a daily basis, and we've got a loaded video today. So without further ado, let's jump right into it today. It was announced that Shane Van Gisbergen and Ross Chastain, both Trackhouse NASCAR Cup Series drivers, will pull some double duty in 2025 for Junior Motorsports in the number 9 car. 9 races for Chastain and SVG. Ross will get COTA, Darlington Spring Race, Nashville, Dover, and Iowa, while Van Gisbergen gets Mexico City, Chicago, Sonoma, and Watkins Glen. SVG is here to kick your butt again on the road courses, and Ross Chastain got one gimme in the COTA road course before SVG gets the rest. So going to be interesting to see how they do. That could be Ross Chastain's best Xfinity car he's ever driven. I know he was with Colleague back in the day, but Ross Chastain getting behind the wheel of a Junior Motorsports entry. Shane Van Gisbergen behind the wheel of a Junior Motorsports car. It's wild to think, but that synergy between Trackhouse and Junior Motorsports is real because Connor Zilisch, of course, loaned out to them for the full-time Xfinity Series season in 2025. So SVG and Ross Chastain will be in select Xfinity races this year for the Junior Motorsports number 9. It was also announced today that Anthony Alfredo will be back in the Cup Series. Fast Pasta himself will be attempting a Daytona 500 run with Beard Motorsports in that number 62 entry. Everyone's favorite small team, one full-time employee over at Beard Motorsports. They bring this 62 car to most of the super speedway plate races in the NASCAR Cup Series. This will be sponsored full-time by Fortify Building Solutions. So Anthony Alfredo will be back in the NASCAR Cup Series, even if it's a one-off. He does not have any plans other than this currently at the NASCAR level, so at least he'll be in the Great American Race, or at least tempting in a stacked field that will be tough to qualify in, no doubt. Yesterday, Nathan Brown of the Indy Star dropped the bombshell on motorsports broadcast that Will Buxton of F1 fame, F1 fans Drive to Survive definitely know who he is, he'll be joining IndyCar's broadcast coverage on Fox full-time as the play-by-play announcer. I'm very interested to see how Buxton does, especially on the play-by-play side, but in the article, it also details who will be calling the NASCAR Xfinity races for 2025. I thought Adam Alexander was going to be out of the running, with him being the Cup Series play-by-play commentary now for Amazon and TNT, but it looks like NASCAR fans are going to get a lot more Adam Alexander, as he's going to be calling all the races for the 2025 Xfinity Series on the CW network. Now, this will be the first year that NASCAR Productions in their new big studio facility in Charlotte will be taking over the broadcast. The last 10 races, of course, transferred to CW, but it was really produced by NBC, so NASCAR Productions will be having all of their fingerprints all over this broadcast, and Adam Alexander will be in the booth. I know a lot of fans wanted Alan Bestwick, but have you ever thought maybe Alan Bestwick doesn't want to be on the road full-time again? It's a grueling schedule, especially now that CW is covering every single Xfinity broadcast. And Alexander proved he was a really good commentary guy for Fox Sports, even with a rotating booth every single week. It turned into almost a driver's podcast watching a race at times, but Adam Alexander always was the glue guy and kept things moving on. So I think it's a very good call for the Xfinity Series to have a full-time voice like that. I guess Rick Allen is completely out of the NASCAR world now, but Adam Alexander calling races for CW 2025. Hendrick Motorsports announced a new sponsorship for Chase Elliott. They've got Prime on the 9 car. No, not Logan Paul's sponsorship that was with Kyle Larson. No, Amazon Prime, as Amazon becomes a new broadcast partner with NASCAR in 2025 for the next 7 seasons at least. They're looking to spread the message that they're going to be on NASCAR fans' TV one way or another, I guess, and Chase Elliott will don the Prime scheme for 3 races for multiple seasons. Maybe that's why Chase Elliott didn't want to do the Netflix show, didn't want to have some kind of conflict of interest. I'm just looking for any way to get him out of it. But regardless, I like to see big sponsors in NASCAR, recognizable brands. It's good for the sport to have someone like Amazon Prime sponsoring a car in 2025. Hendrick Motorsports made news again today, though, with signing another driver to a development deal. 19-year-old dirt prospect from California, Corey Day will be a Hendrick Motorsports development driver running a multitude of different series races. He'll be running a part-time schedule with the Hendrick Motorsports Xfinity program, as well as 12 combined races for Spire Motorsports in the Arca Series and Truck Series entries for them. So there you go. That partnership with Hendrick and Spire just gets stronger and stronger as it goes on. And it looks like not only has Corey Day been handpicked, he's been handpicked by Kyle Larson of all people. Now, Jeff Gordon handpicked Jimmy Johnson back in the day from Mr. H, and Jeff Gordon was a big part of Kyle Larson coming over to Hendrick Motorsports. So it looks like these drivers have an eye for talent. And when somebody like Kyle Larson says, we need this guy, it speaks volumes. So it seems like there's a lot of young racing prospects, but Corey Day is one of those elite prospects. And speaking of Corey Day and a lot of young prospects, it was day one of Arca Menards testing at Daytona. 65 cars were entered in the field. Now, not all of these cars will enter in the Arca race, but Elio Castroneves was confirmed that he'll be running for Pinnacle Racing Group's 82 car. I did say a couple of days ago, Elio's going to have to run the Arca race. I was right. It doesn't happen much. But anyway, no, day one of Arca Menards testing is in the books. It just went official a few minutes ago, and it's a loaded field. Trayton Lapsevich, the Snowball Derby winner, Brent Cruz, of course, signing with Tricon a few days ago, Butterbean, even Cletus McFarland, the YouTuber, the track owner down in Florida, he was in the Daytona testing today. Now, I mentioned Elio, he was P24 today, while open wheeler Catherine Legg was also in the testing today. She was 13th, and look right behind her, Cletus McFarland, P14. YouTubers can race after all, it turns out, or at least this guy, but on a serious note, it is really cool to see Cletus McFarland out there in the garage. Amber Balkin was at the top of the leaderboard today, although she was caught up in an incident late in the day with a few other cars. Looks like everyone's going to be fine to go. It'll be repairable, but just something to note there in day one of Arca testing. We can't get through anything Arca-wise clean, it seems like. They'll be back at it again on Friday morning, so stay tuned for day two updates as Elio Castroneves and more attempt to get their sea legs before Daytona Speed Weeks. Again, if you're new to the channel, like this video, subscribe. It helps me out a ton here at Breaking Bob. And let me tell you, this NASCAR season is going to be here before you know it. The news, the paint schemes, they're all starting to drop, and it's just going to be head on a swivel for the next couple weeks. So stay tuned for more. Again, subscribe for more content here at Breaking Bob. Thanks for watching.